I am a designer and I'm here in Eco Hotel and Suits. Keep watching VOP, the voice of the people. Don't touch that dial.
Africa is on the move, a continent of rising voices, untold stories, and powerful transformations. From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Nairobi, from the mines of Congo to the tech labs of Cape Town, the African story is being written every day. Bold, dynamic, unstoppable. This is African News on Voice of the People Television. We don't just bring you the news. We analyze and bring you Africa's heartbeat, the politics that shapes our nations, the economies that drives our future, the cultures that defines who we are, the voice that must be heard. Africa News, Africa's voice, Africa's future. Where Africa speaks, the world listens.
Meets every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing.
And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world, because your voice is our focus.
Microphone, Mike, don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns. Minister of Family.
Hello there and welcome on board. Of course, I heard as People's Voice on VOPT Voices and Story Shape, the narrative. And today we'll be dissecting a major story that is dominating the headline and sparking conversation across the nation. 2027 election at risk, Senate accused of delaying Electoral Act passage. To join the conversation with experts and citizen perspective, of course, I would like you to share your thoughts with us. I am Savior Udo. Let's look into other news stories with details. Reps Committee lauds Abia Governor's strides in healthcare delivery. The House of Representatives Committee on Healthcare Services has commended Abia State Governor Electoral for his unprecedented achievement in the health sector. The committee's chairman, Dr. Amos Magaji, made the assessment during a walking visit to the governor's office in Umuahia. And away from that particular one, 166 Kaduna worshippers still in captivity 10 days after abduction. 10 days after bandits abducted worshippers from Kumiwali village in Kaduna State, 166 victims remain in captivity, raising concerns among families and religious bodies. The Arawa Consultative Forum and the Christian Association of Nigeria have urged the security agencies to intensify efforts to rescue their immediate, of course, the adopted ones, and of course get them released immediately. But the concern here is the fact that for every other situation that happened, that the government actually agreed that, oh, this particular thing happened immediately. In one way or the other, they got them released. But for this particular one, that first the government denied initially, the Nigerian police force in Kaduna denied, and we don't even understand what is going on. Of course, we heard that the kidnappers had given, they've given their demands as regards to what they want as ransom before they can release the people they adopted. But we're yet to hear anything afterwards. And this is just 10 days. How many more days are we to count before we get the release of these people? Is it until the U.S. government, come in to intervene again or to decide to strike? And yet they would say Nigeria is a sovereign nation. that the Nigerian government shouldn't give the U.S. such rights or authorizing the U.S. to strike in this particular country. We have to be fair to ourselves. We have to be fair to our people. We don't know the condition at which 166 people, innocent worshippers, are actually going through as we speak. So we would want the Nigerian security personnel to look into this and see what they can do as soon as possible. We wouldn't want to start counting weeks or months. Away from this particular one, let's go straight to the Kebbi State quarters now. Kebbi State trains 500 vigilantes to strengthen communities' security. Kebbi State Governor Nasiru Idris has inspected 500 vigilantes and hunted 500 vigilantes, of course, and they are undergoing a refresher, a tactical training program in Cargo local government area. The initiative aims to strengthen grassroots security structures and complement conventional security agency in responding to growth security challenges in the Northwest. And sincerely, for this particular one, I would actually say this is actually a laudable, move for the Kebbi State government. This is what we're talking about. If you prioritize the life of your people, you would actually, look for every other thing, possible, and every other possible way to see that you protect lives and properties of your people, you being the chief executive officer of a state. All right. I remembered that on one of our programs here in the station called Political Lens, we had someone from the community, from the Kaduna community, who joins that particular program, and so much was said. And I remembered that the presenter asked the question as regards to the JTF. Okay, we also have JTF in Kaduna, where they were meant to protect, the communities, go all around to make sure that things are, in order. But for a while now, I don't know for how many years, but at least I can actually say for 3 years now, the JTF have not been really functioning. Just maybe the government is not really looking into their side, and that's the reason why some things are quite easy for these bandits to just come in and pick anybody at their will. Looking at what Kebbi State is doing, this is just a very clear, communication here that, we know we have the Nigerian, police force. We know we have the military personnel there, but we also want to have our own vigilantes, okay, that will do us well as regards to protecting both the communities and also our forests. Before they are even overwhelmed, of course, the police, the military would join them, but they want this, local security, which is what we are talking about here. Every life matters in Nigeria. That's all we're saying. And that's all we want the Kaduna State government to do. And let's come back to the East. Abia leaders back OT for 2027 re-election. The Abia Council of Traditional Prime Ministers have endorsed Governor Alex Oti for re-election in 2027, citing his unmatched performance in the state. The group praised Oti's transformation of Umuahia and Aba, describing them as a smart city presently. They also commended the governor for raising the status and emoluments of traditional rulers by over 300%. I don't think Ojus or Kalu would like this particular comment. I don't think he would like this particular comment, because I remember that Ojus Okalu said that Alex Oti has not done anything or is not even doing anything. And he went on to say that all he has been doing is purchase more paints and painting the roads that he actually constructed in his administration, meaning that Alex Oti is just a painter. That was what he said. And I'm surprised that traditional rulers in the states are actually, commending, Alex Oti for a good work. But truths don't lie, facts don't also lie. Since Alex Oti has, his facts and figures clear there, and of course we can actually check all of his projects, and you would agree with me that they are real in the states. So I think his 2027 re-election bid would be a smooth ride. I think that's all I would say for now, until we have someone who can be a formidable opponent to him. But if it is about party, this is not about, Abia State is not about party. I would actually say this, with all sense of humility, that Abia State's election would not be about party, but it would be about the person. And that's what Abians want, right? So let's move from there back to the city that has been hot for 72 hours as we speak. I'm talking about Kano State. Kwankwaso made this assertion: Governor Yusuf will regret leaving NNPP. What a very serious one there. Former presidential candidate and leader of the new Nigerian People's Party, NNPP, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, has expressed conviction that Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf will regret leaving the party. Kwankwaso said Governor Yusuf's exit from the NNPP came as a surprise to many, that he initially felt it was a dream. Okay, sometimes they say dreams come true, so I believe we're all in reality now. So much is going on in Kano State as we speak. Some people actually gave a speculation that he was not going to leave, again, but he told his boss he was going to leave, and the boss said, no, you don't have to leave. But he has decided to leave, and there is nothing anybody can do about it. And I read a particular article from, the inner caucus of Kano politicians as of this morning, and the person said that, why is Kwankwaso this surprised? Because the same Governor Yusuf stopped communication, with Kwankwaso a few weeks ago. Kwankwaso tried reaching out to him. He didn't take the calls. He tried sending people. All efforts was proven abortive. And he even gave, instructions that Kwankwaso shouldn't come to the State House. So what I was saying here, so he has given, all of the moves, he has given all of the signals to show that he was about leaving. So no one should be surprised, including the Kwankwasia's, movement. Okay, let's come to the Yayi's quarters now. That's what we call him, and that's what his nickname is in the streets of Ogun State. Ogun professionals to grill Senator Adiola on 2027 ambition. Ogun West Professionals Group is set to meet with Senator Olamilekan Adiola to scrutinize his plan for the 2027 general elections. The meeting aims to promote unity and coherence among the people of Ogun West senatorial district in their bid to win the gubernatorial election. Adiola, who is popularly known as Yayi, a frontline aspirant for the Ogun governorship, is expected to speak on his 2027 agenda and outline his vision for the states. Right, away from that particular one, supporters decry Malami's continued detention. Supporters of former Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, SEN, have expressed concern over his continued detention, describing it as evidence of selective justice and a threat to Nigeria's constitutional order. They urge security agencies to respect constitutional procedures and ensure due process is upheld without discrimination. And of course, on this particular one, if I'm just going to say anything about it, it would be that this is not about the EFCC anymore. This is about the DSS now. And they are actually, holding him down for something totally different compared to what the EFCC said as regards to fraud. Okay, so we should understand the difference here now. This is about DSS. And DSS said that he's been funding, terrorists. So if it is, it is otherwise, or is innocent of that, let due process, be made. That's what we're saying. Nobody would actually be happy that they've lost one or two of their person or their loved ones, friends, in all of this particular, insurgency, insecurity situation in the country, and you think that person will be happy to see that someone who has been sponsoring either bandits, any terrorists, Boko Haram, what have you, should, go scot-free. This is not political. This is just about us getting things right in this nation, that's all. So if the DSS had actually waited that, when EFC is done, we would actually start our own. What are we saying here? So that's just it. So it shouldn't be, let's not always have sentiment and emotions as regards to things like this. Away from that particular one, federal government plans improved security for schools in border and riverine communities. The federal government has actually unveiled plans to strengthening security in schools located in border and riverine community under the Safe School Transition Plan for 2026-2030. The strategy aims to create a safer learning environment nationwide by deepening collaboration among security agencies, state governments, and local communities, while expanding psychosocial support and emergency preparedness for students and teachers. That's quite a laudable one here, because we're still asking the question, when you ask students to resume, back to school as regards to Kebbi State, every other, communities that some, bandits came to adopt the school children. Of course, they're free. But the question is, what have you put in place? What are the measures you've put in place? So if these are the measures, we would actually want you to do even more so that they can actually have a safe environment to learn. NLC urges government accountability amid tax overhaul. The Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, has welcomed the newly implemented tax reform, but emphasized that workers will only benefit if government revenues are properly managed to deliver public services. The reforms aim to simplify tax administration, reduce multiple taxation, and promote fairness. To join the conversation, kindly call the number 09044732605, 09044732605. Follow us on social media at VOPTV Live on YouTube. We are a voice of the people, and of course the hashtag is People's Voice on VOPTV. Don't forget that you can just hit our subscribe button, and together we can make our voices heard. It is time for us to go on a quick break. As soon as we return, we'll be dissecting this conversation together. 2027 elections at risk. Senate accused of delaying Electoral Act passage. Don't go nowhere. Stay tuned, please. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the program. It is still People's Voice on Voice of People Television. The Senate is facing criticism for allegedly delaying the passage of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, which is crucial for the 2027 general elections in Nigeria. Former Director of Voter and Publicity Education of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Oluwole Osaze Uzi, claimed that there is evidence of deliberate delay by the Senate. If the bill is not passed, Nigeria will have to rely on the flawed 2022 Electoral Act, potentially compromising the credibility of the 2027 elections. The delay has sparked concerns among civil society groups, election observers, and lawmakers. They argue that the delay will affect INEC's preparations, voter education, and overall credibility of the election. With the February deadline for INEC's proclamation of the notice of election looming, stakeholders are urging the Senate to prioritize the passage of the bill. We're now being joined by Mr. Elvis Elimihele, a journalist, political and public affairs analyst, a member of the Guide of Public Affairs Analysts of Nigeria. You're welcome on board, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, Xavier.
It's another wonderful Wednesday.
Yeah, wonderful Wednesday. How's your day?
The day is here, as we can all see.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So would you want to respond to any of the news story?
Yeah, the Abia story and the Kano story. I think those two caught my attention.
Okay.
I want the Abians to actually know that all those people that are, conspiring against Oti,
Alex Oti, yes.
Alex Oti, the present governor of Abia State. Yeah. Those people are the enemies of Abia. Yes. Who are they? Senator Joseph
Okalo. The deputy senate, the deputy rep speaker, Theodore Oji, yes, former governor as well.
Then Ikpeazu, the one that just left. Then the
Deputy Speaker, Senate Speaker of Reps.
House of Rep.
Yes, Benjamin Kalu.
Yeah. Then there is one of the ministers too. I think the minister for whether women affairs be labor. Those people, all those people that are ganging against Alex Oti are the real enemies of the Abia people.
Benjamin
Abia
Kalu.
people must watch them.
Benjamin Kalu, the deputy,
the deputy
speaker reps.
Yes.
He said that time has passed that he would ask Alex Oti to join the APC. Like I saw that statement like like Mr. Avis, you gave me an opportunity to do something and I didn't do it. Now you are seeing it like, oh, I am out of being favored. He said he was not ready to talk to Alex Oti as regards to the APC or moving to APC anymore. That the time he actually talked about it had gone, and this time around, so much would actually change in the state, and they are taking over power. And I was just surprised. And my question: you guys talk about this power like it is not about the people. Yeah, this is democracy.
You see, that's where they are missing it. That's where they are, and that's what has now made the APC to become a maker of sort now that everybody is now like, oh, I have to go into APC before I can win election. 2027 election is not about political party, savior. You got to be about the contestant, the individual candidates, and the people.
Yes.
If a particular party feeds a candidate that the people believe in, the people will follow that candidate. If that political party, no matter how popular, no matter how they believe they are, now they are in power, they have allocated the power to themselves, feed a candidate that they don't want, they will lose. If election is actually free and fair, even some of the sitting governors will lose their elections.
If it is free and fair.
Free and fair, in quotes. That's what we are, that's our next topic. That's what we should be talking about. That's what we should remind Nigerians that it is our right, that our election, that your vote and my vote must count. Because I am interested in who my leader will be. My choice must not be jeopardized.
Sadly, for those of us, we would actually, either be at the office or going here and there.
Oh, yeah, I know. But at least, even if we are not voting on that day, we are in the office. But we have constituencies.
Yeah.
We also have people who believe in us. And even as we are talking in the studio now, some people are listening to us. They also know that, yes, these people are actually speaking the truth or not. I said the election for 2027 is going to be between the candidate, the person who is contesting, and the people. And not the political parties. If we want to talk a political party, in 2014, Nigerians were like, PDP has disappointed us. We need a change. The Messiah has come. Ignorantly, we fell into the hand of Tinubu. By 2018, 2017, 2018, Nigeria, 2019, Nigeria became the poverty capital of the world. Tinubu, Buhari plunged us into that. Then in 2022, 2023, before he handed over, insecurity became worse. That's where we are today. So Buhari, that we saw as Messiah in 2014, 2015, disappointed Nigeria. That was a person that Nigerians believed in. And APC came with all the campaign and all their propaganda. So Buhari disappointed Nigerians. Here we are today. Tinubu said, I'll continue from where Buhari stopped. We have not seen any difference. He has not fared well. So we are not looking at political parties this time around. Let them begin to make APC a maker of sorts. But Nigerians are waiting in the trenches. That come 2027, what happened in 2023 will not repeat itself. Even if there is no electoral reform, as the Senate is for dragging, Nigerians will defend their votes to the letter. Go and mark it. It's not business as usual. We have been bamboozled enough in this country. For 65 years, we cannot get our leadership right. Then we call ourselves, when it comes to some other person who want to assist us now, that's when we'll now be hearing, we are a sovereign nation. What do you mean by sovereignty when you cannot get your leadership right? Nothing is gotten right in this nation, from infrastructure now to human resources and all. Then you are now remembering that you are not a sovereign nation.
If you are saying from infrastructure to human capital and all of that, Atiku's son made this assertion as regards to saying that Tinubu would win the election and nobody can actually beat him because Tinubu has actually done so many infrastructure reforms, human development. He said all of these particular things.
Which one is affecting you? Just yesterday, national grid collapse. On the 24th, national grid collapse. That is affecting you and I directly. Forget about Atiku's son. Maybe he has solar, he can afford solar, he can afford generator. His dad owns a generator company. Let's not be going into that. We all know that. Since he can afford that, and he was brought up with silver spoon, you and I that are not brought up with silver spoon, that cannot afford it, we rely on the facility that's supposed to be infrastructure that's supposed to be provided by the federal government for us to enjoy being a sovereign state, as we call, we are a sovereign nation, and the constitutional requirement of any leadership is the security and welfare of the people. All these ones are missing. Then where do you now put President Tinubu? If he's saying that he's coming back, oh, there's no other person that can, he has done well. How many of his people can go to farm?
But some people have actually made, different assertions. I remember even yesterday when I talked about his reforms, and I said, what can the president, point to, or what can we actually point to, or what can the APC also point to say, oh, because of A, B, C, the president should be re-elected. And some people actually answered and mentioned different reforms, and some even said for him to take the bold step to remove the fuel subsidy, that was quite a very good one, because Obi would have also done same and Atiku would have also done same. And I said, was it meant to be immediately? And they said, of course, that Obi also planned to do same.
It is not about being immediate. Do you understand? It's not even about being removal of fuel subsidy. It's about, since the removal of fuel subsidy, the money that has been coming from to the coffers of the government from the removal of fuel subsidy, is it affecting you? How is it being channeled? I said it some time ago that before the removal, even when Abacha was going to introduce fuel tax, he brought in petroleum trust funds that will manage that fund. When Jonathan was going to remove fuel subsidy in 2012, he set up Shopee that will manage the fund. When Tinubu removed it on May 29, 2023, there was nothing on ground to manage it. Today, that money is in the hands of governors. The governors are now junketing around the world. The governors are now doing White Elephant Project. The governors are now so rich that... Did
you actually see David Umahi's comments? I think yesterday? Yes.
Yeah.
He said that he's 10 times more powerful now. That is no longer the same man he used to be when he was a governor.
Yes.
And there's nothing he and his family cannot acquire now.
Do you know why he's saying that? The Umufuru that is there is his boy. What is just that Umufuru is just doing the Mumu part. That is why we are not seeing what is happening in Rivers, happening in
Ebonyi State.
Yes. So whatever he says, he's not talking because he's a minister. He's talking because that state is under his coffers. His son has just won the local government primaries to contest as local government chairman. So it's not even about them now. It's about them now. It's not like a hereditary tree. When I finish, my children should follow. That's why he's talking in that manner. So he's not talking because the Abian people the Ebonyi people are enjoying the government. He's talking because he has been able to get, the government is under his palm, and he can command the government in whichever way. It's a steering. He drives it the way he wants.
So that means that we're not running democracy again. It is now about monarchy, right?
It's
monarchy system.
No, I don't even want to. I don't even want to describe it as like a monarchical government, because even in a monarchy system of government, we still have the kingmakers can even say no, this person is not too good. It's not good. They can even still challenge.
No, because we have all of those track records. El-Rufai's son is a reps member as we speak.
Yeah.
Okowa's daughter is a member of House of Assembly as we speak. Wike is preparing his child.
Wike is preparing
Oduagan. They have. And
the former APC chairman,
and the president, the Speaker of Lagos, Obasa, his son is the local government chairman.
So that's why I said it's no longer about democracy. So when they are not talking because they have been able to put Nigeria in a fold that they are not bringing in their children after themselves.
So you mentioned the name Abacha, and that's why I want to give us a backstory as regards to, I saw something, about this a small generator that they usually call a pass my neighbor. Yeah. So in Abacha time, that gen, I think they said it was 2.5.
Yes.
2.5. And afterwards, in Obasanjo time...
Even at that time, we still have better electricity than
yes. now. And during Obasanjo's tenure, the gen became, is it 5,000? Or about 5,000. Yeah. And afterwards, after Obasanjo's era, Yaradua, the gen became 6,000. In Jonathan's time, the gen became 10,000. Now, from the time of Jonathan, the gen moved straight from 10,000 to 100,000 in Buhari's time.
Yeah.
That was where we were not getting the calculation anymore. And between that time, Buhari's time, to Tinubu's time now, the gen is actually roving around 150 to 200,000.
Yes.
For a pass.
That is.
When I saw that particular thing, I just said, Mr. Davis, no, that was the answer.
Have you talked about Keke Marua?
Let's not even go there. Let's not even go there.
When Marwa brought that keke to Lagos, that is name after him.
Yeah.
How much was it? Today is 4 million plus.
Since we're talking about elections,
and somebody
today,
is telling you that he's coming back and that nothing is going to.
Since we're talking about elections, and I love the fact that you picked it up from Abia State, and of course, we are yet to talk about Kano, but maybe you would actually lace it up with the conversation that we have here. Since we're talking about Electoral Act and our Nigerian, Senate, they resumed yesterday.
Yeah,
that was their first plenary.
Wednesday.
Yes, and
on Tuesday. Yesterday, yes.
That was their first plenary, and we are still waiting, and we're trying to let them know that this should be the first, topic. This should be the first conversation. This should be the first, conversation in the House as we speak. But we don't know if they're actually doing this on purpose. I remember what Amechi said. Amechi said that there is no present government anywhere in Nigeria that would successfully pass, the electoral bill amendment, completely and adhere to it because it might not also favor the president. He made this assertion, I think, sometime in December or first week of January this year. And when I look at this whole situation as regards to our Nigerian Senate not passing this bill, what are the potential consequences of Senate delay in passing our Electoral Act Amendment Bill, on Nigeria's democratic process? You
see, left to the politicians, they will not want any amendments because they know how they got in there. They know how this one that we are saying it has some flaws, how it has favored their coming in there. They will not. But it is left for Nigerians to enforce it on them that we need that change. We need that Electoral Act that brought them in to be rejigged towards 2027 general election. In 2019, we saw President Buhari said, no, it was too close to the election and he was not going to sign. Then that was how we went into that 2019 election blindly. In 2022, he gradually signed the one that we used for 2023 election. But we never knew it also has some flaws, because the propaganda was so much that, election was going to be transmitted through electronics and IREF was going to serve as the means of transmission and all that. We're going to start watching our screen and see the result being uploaded. We were comfortable with that. So we were like, this Electoral Act of 2023 is actually moving Nigeria to at least a civilized nation where we can begin to talk of what is happening in Ghana, what is happening in South Africa. These are Africa, even in Kenya. I mean, I don't want to start talking of the civilized world. Yeah. I think at least we are getting somewhere because Jonathan introduced card reader, and before they now brought in the PVC. So everybody was like, go and pick up your PVC. At least we're hoping for a very credible election. But unfortunately, we saw that after the transmitting of the results for that presidential election through National Assembly was transmitted through IREF. Was only one person went and switched it off for presidential election and said there was a glitch. The former INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakub, he has never answered that one before Nigeria. But Nigeria knows that. No.
Maybe you shouldn't be saying former INEC chairman now. Just call him our ambassador.
Because he has been so rewarded. He got a national honor after that, and he got an ambassador position. Okay. So what we are seeing is that the politicians always like to dwell in those great things that will bring them to power. But here is where the people come in Savior. Now that they resumed, I'm looking at Nigerians, the civil society organizations, and every other person that so loves this nation. That is talking about we need that desired change in 2027. This is the time we should be talking of occupying the National Assembly. Giving them another 1 week and nothing is mentioned about this electoral bill, amendment bill that we are talking about, we should now begin to talk of occupying the National Assembly. Every one of them that just came back from recess now, they went home with millions of naira to enjoy Christmas and New Year. You know how you and I did our Christmas and New Year. But we are the electorate that voted them. We're not even talking about them. But we just want a situation where we can be so assured that when we go out to the pool to vote, our vote will be counted and it will be rest assured that the person I competed for, whether he wins or not, that it was my choice and my choice was guaranteed, whether the person wins or not. So this is the time Nigeria should be looking at this. We have to let these people know that we elected them and their responsibility is to do our bidding that elected them. And that is making favorable laws that will give us respite and make us look proud of them whenever we say, okay, the pool has come again. For this very one, this is the time Nigerians should begin to break
Okay,
up.
Mr.
and occupy
Elvis,
the national
you have said so much in just a few minutes, which I want to pick some rushes from your conversation.
Yeah.
You talked about the former, which I said don't call him former Heineken.
ambassador.
You talk about the ambassador now, presently, who you actually made an assertion that, of course, they switched a glitch, which we are yet to actually see that, as evidential that I did. But of course, so many people actually speculated that something of that nature happened. And I want to actually, take it simultaneously as regards to what the Deputy Speaker House of Reps, Benjamin Kalu, also said to Alex Oti, and also to what Ojuzo Kalu said. And if I am to bring all of this particular thing to make sense out of it, my question, do you really think that even if the Senate decides to actually look into this, pass this particular electoral amendment bill, for the election, for INEC to actually have a smooth ride and all of that, do you think that in 5 minutes, what happened in 2023 cannot still take place and would only get apology? That's one. Secondly, don't forget what happened in Edo State's gubernatorial election, where they had to go with church and all of that to a particular place where, and they were saying, no, go back, you stay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And we all saw what happened. Until date, we're yet to get, answers as regards so many questions in Edo State. But away from that particular one, also, we just concluded election in Anambra State. They were, vote buying. And the same EFCC caught some people with, a large sum of amounts in their briefcase, having a tag, which I don't want to actually pin it on any political party, but of course, if we remember, yes, they're all guilty, including the ruling party of that state, which happens to be ABGA. And afterwards, what has happened? So my question, sir, do you think, regardless of the electoral amendment bill, even if they pass it, do you think that we can actually get this clarity, we can actually get this transparency that we're actually craving for?
We'll get it. You see, before the Anambra election, some of the changes that are taking place in this nation have not taken place. We are seeing so many changes that are taking place in this nation now since late November to December to where we are now. Nigeria matter is also being discussed in other parliaments of the world, apart from even Nigeria here.
Okay.
Some other persons are now watching what is going on here. So I expect that if we get the electoral bill amended to a certain level, we will be able to also now let's sell it to the world and let the world know that this is where this extent we have gone. Number one, what happened in Edo State cannot repeat itself again in 2027 general election because we have gone beyond what happened in Edo State. Everybody, because it was an off-season election, all of them mounted pressure on Edo State. All the Senate president and all of them flew down to Benin and made sure that everything was manipulated to the favor of the ruling party. That's gone. In the next election, all of them are going to be in the ballot and they are going to be slugging it out in their respective states. So nobody will have all that opportunity to say we are going to mount pressure on one state. That's number one. Number two, we have a bigger headmaster now that is actually watching Nigeria now. So, and where Nigerians are not relenting, we are still calling on him to watch us more and do more. And that will also play a big role in 2027 general election. Then the people also have to come in. The people must be able to now say, no, enough of all this. We must defend our vote. We saw what happened in 2023. They came out to vote. But there were a lot of intimidation and all that. But that has passed. All that law that we got to the court, and the court started interpreting those things that were not told before, those are the areas that we're now saying, no, we want those gray areas to be high on that so that we can now know that we have a new bill. Let the Senate, National Assembly do their job. Let them do their job. Give us a new electoral act. Then let us now know where we belong. Then those areas that we felt that so hurt us in 2023 general election, let's see that those areas have been amended as we are calling for. Then by the time we move into 2027 general election, it can't be business as usual. It can never be, Savior, because one, the political atmosphere now is already very charged. Nigerians are knowing their rights much more. And there are other assistants now, even from outside this country, that are having so much interest in this nation, want Nigeria to get it right. So you know what that means. If anything happens, that is not right, this nation might get into serious trouble by 2027 general election. And we don't want that. If we must call Nigeria after 2027 election, we have to do the needful now before we get to that election. And that's what everybody is calling on. The National Assembly must not jeopardize that opportunity. They must give us that right to make sure that this is done. Then we now move forward. Then we'll get to the pool. All this one. You know why this godfatherism is festering? Because the election is not free and fair. If the election is free and fair, all you are seeing in Kano will not happen. If you leave for another political party, how many people did you carry along? You succeeded in carrying your cabinet and probably some part of of your state house of assembly. You have not carried Kano people along to the new party. On that day of the election, they will wait for you and say, okay. Some of them will say, you betrayed us. This was not the platform we voted you in 2023. Now you betrayed us into this new party. We are not part of that, your new party. They will vote accordingly. But unfortunately, because the elections are not free and fair, that's why you see they can come and tell us that, oh, whether you vote or not, we'll get it. And the next thing they say, go to the court. Why will it be that an election that over 5 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million voted for you in a state, then only 6 persons or 5 persons will now sit and say this is the rightful person? That's not democracy any longer. Democracy thrives on number. That's why it's called the government of the people. And democracy is all about majority. But when 5 judges or 6 judges sit down and begin to say, this is not the governor and this is not the president, we're no longer talking of democracy. So we have sold off democracy. So the people must have to work and get democracy back to their own fold because the government belongs to them. We should not allow it to now be like the judiciary that will now begin to tell us this is now our governor. That's what we saw in Imo State. Number 4 became number 1. And so you know what I mean. And
that number 1 now is the strongest.
It's not the strongest
in the whole of the East.
Yes, even in the governors forum.
Yes,
he's the chairman of the progressive governor. And you know how many governors they have in their fold now. Almost everybody have gone to join them now.
Yeah.
So such must not happen, because where you now give that opportunity to judiciary, anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
So let it be that the people must have to hold this government, this democracy in their hands and work towards it and make it credible that whenever we say, so my candidate lost the election, I know he lost gallantly. That there was a better candidate, that's why he got it. In 1993, before the June 12 election, you know, the state governors have already been elected.
Yeah.
They were working with IBB, so we're just waiting for the president to come in. There were already functional state governors.
State governors, yes.
Yes, I remember it was 2 parties. And I could see that time that everybody, you know where you belong. You know where you belong, SDP or NROC. You can vouch for your, say, no, this is my candidate and this is my party. At least we still reach part of their manifestos then. Yeah. But today, the whole political party in Nigeria, I don't even know whether you know any of their manifestos or I know any of their manifestos. Everybody is just looking at who is this person, who is this party going to bring forward as their candidate. That's what we are looking at. So the parties have to make it transparent to the electorate, and the government and the people must have to enforce it on the government that we want more transparency in our electoral system. And that is the job of the INEC. INEC has a new leadership now. We want to see how he's going to, bring the integrity of INEC back. We want to see the reputation he's going to put in that office as the chairman of INEC and INEC in general, because we want to see deterrent. INEC staff that err against the people must have to go to court. Okay. Then the people who also now play into the hands of INEC staff to be used, they also have to follow. That's what we now bring transparency into it. All those are the things we are not saying. Let these laws now be spread out in the electoral act that will take us into 2027 general election. Not just going in blindly.
Okay.
Say we have an election on hand.
Okay, Mr. Harvis, you've said so much. And of course, you touched Kano State as well, yes. And you talked about godfatherism, which I want to also, take it as a rider as regards to the National Assembly. First, for that of the godfatherism situation, these successors actually know the truth that some of them were not elected, they were selected.
Yes.
Hence, they need to be loyal to their godfathers. And that's the reason why some, predecessors are really, really pained as regards to their successors being, turning against them. Yes, that's it. Now, when we talk about electoral bill, we have so much in it, that is quite, robust as regards to giving us the guideline for the election and all through the election that would cover both primaries and, the general elections.
Yeah.
Now, you are asking the Senate, the National Assembly, to pass a bill, to look into something that some of them were actually against, one, or secondly, some of them didn't even follow that of the 2022. I want to bring you up to speed. Did you remember that in the 2022 electoral bill, amendment bill, you were only entitled to get just one ticket?
Yeah.
You remember? So if you get a ticket for presidential, for your primaries, you are not allowed to have senatorial or reps. So if I may ask you, have you forgotten that Ahmad Lawa, the former Senate president, had a ticket for a presidency in their primaries? He didn't win. How did he become the senator? Which the other guy, Mashina, won the senatorial district.
Yeah.
So how did they change it? That is where we should ask our next questions. Now, the present Senate president, Akpabio.
I was thinking you want to forget your big uncle.
No, I wouldn't do that. Regardless, in as much as it's from my state.
Yes,
no, I wouldn't.
Your big uncle.
No, this is my job. I'm a broadcast journalist. I have to paint it the way it is. No, it's about facts and figures.
Yes.
So Akpabio also got the ticket for presidency to go head-to-head with Tinubu, Oshibajo, Amechi, Ahmad Lawa. And you remember, we all watched, the primaries. He stepped down for Tinubu and asked his delegates to vote for him. How did Akpabio get back to the Senate? With which ticket? You only had one. How did he? So now he's the president of the Senate. I may start giving you more names. But my question is it the same people who did not adhere to the 2022 amendment bill? Are they the same people you are really pressurizing right now to actually do this particular one for you? And that's the reason why I was asking, do you think that this whole situation will be free and fair, transparent enough?
You see,
how might the delay affect INEC's preparation for the 2027 general election? And not only that, don't forget that we have another election in February, just this February, which is Abuja Council election. So I want you to take all of this as we close.
Let me tell you what transparent,
because it will affect the voter education and of course awareness for your campaign.
What happened in those swapping of tickets in 2023 that brought those Akpabio and Lawan back to the heavyweight back to the Senate? I'm telling you, those kind of things will not repeat itself again in this election. Yes. One, those are even the things, those are even some of the flaws that we are talking about now, that we need that electoral act now to be rejigged so that we can have a better say. Let it be that they have done their own part. Then leave the rest for the people. The people are much more aware. The people are now much more resolute in making sure that whatever they believe in, they execute it to the end. Because the people have come to discover now that the ruling party have actually done so much harm to their lives than expected. They have come to see it. What are we talking about? This is the second president now that APC is producing. After the Buhari, then this is the second one. And we have now come to see that there is no difference between the one that left and the one that have just come in. Forget about their propaganda. So whatever is going to take place now, as far as that electoral act is concerned, the people will monitor it. And it will be analyzed. And people will know their right and what they are supposed to do. That's why I'm saying, telling you, Savior, this afternoon, that we are not looking at what they are doing right here. We are looking at what is going to be that is going to be beneficial to us. And that's going to make us to have that credible person that we're going to say, okay, this is the rightful person. At the time they now swap tickets, supposing the party lost that completely, will Akpabio be there? Supposing the APC lost that to another party completely under a free and fair election, will it be there? It will not be there because the manipulation continues. That's why they are supposed to say, okay, it was APC that still won the senatorial seat, then they manipulated him back to the seat.
They called it incumbency.
Yes, no, so incumbency is not a factor. If there is a better electoral act, and a free and fair election, incumbency is not a guarantee that you must come back to that seat. It's the people that owns even the incumbency, let me tell you. It's the people that will say, no, he served us well, let us return him. It's people that say, no, he didn't
we don't want this man again.
We don't need him again. That's the area we are saying that a Nigeria election must get to. Let that credibility come in. Look at Ghana. The ruling party lost the presidential election in Ghana on the 7th of December. Because they are getting it right. Do you understand what I'm saying? The ruling party lost the election in America. In this very election that brought Trump. They were in power, the Democrats were in power. They lost it.
It happened on both ways, yes.
It happens. So why we have to get our electoral act to a certain level that even Even if a certain party manipulate their candidate and all others, you cannot manipulate the people. The people will now have the choice to say, you have done your manipulation internally. Oh. That's not for us. The general election, we are waiting for you. And we are going to vote accordingly. We vote our choice. So if the person you manipulated now eventually lost in the general election, have you not lost?
So how can we undo these election malpractices? How can we undo it in closing in just 1 minute? And also, I want to take this as simultaneously. And of course, when it comes to accountability, and governance, how can National Assembly ensure that there is accountability in the electoral process?
The handling electoral malpractices in Nigeria is that we have to set out laws, deterrent laws. We have not seen people being jailed because of electoral malpractices. They go into it and get away with it. There should be laws guiding it. Today, if you catch an armed robber in this nation, you know the laws. Electoral manipulation is even much more serious than robbery. Because when the wrong person is there, savior, you've robbed the whole nation. Yeah. The whole 22 millions of Nigeria, you are robbing them. Not just one person, rob one person, you say is going to face a death penalty. Anybody that manipulates election, let it be as severe as that death penalty. Because you are robbing the economy, you are robbing the people, and you are robbing the future of the nation. Let it be as serious as that. Then that's why we are talking about we have to have a strong judicial system that will be able to talk. Because if the judiciary also know too that electoral system has to be so sanitized, they themselves will sit up. Because they know too well that the next person that is coming may be tougher than the person that just left. It's just because it has always been the same stream that, it's APC, let me do the bidding of the APC because they are coming back, so I can still retain my seat. If they know too well another party is going to throw out APC, the chief judge of the nation will sit well. All the judges under him or her will sit well because they know too well that these people that are coming, they are coming to wipe out those people that they call miscreant or whatever that bad eggs in that profession. So it's just because we have not gotten our electoral system rightly. Okay. That's why you see there are a lot of manipulation, a lot of crime at the top. By the time you know that your first year is the only one that you can guarantee, you don't guarantee the next one. Everybody working with you will sit tight and say, I don't know the party that will win. We are going to be probed if we do the wrong thing. But because it's just like everybody is like a walkover. That's why you see this corruption continues, this manipulation continues to continue, and all others. By the time we get our electoral act where we get our electoral system where 4 years, this 4 years is the only one you can guarantee. You're not able to guarantee the next one. Everybody working with you, your cabinet, they will know that the next election, it may not be there that will come in.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Heavis. That was quite a very serious one there. This is how far we can actually go on the show. Thank you so much for being part of the show again. We'll see next week Wednesday in another heated argument. All right, if you loved World of Sport, I'd like to stay put. Coming up next is a locker room. Don't give up because it is not over. Tough time doesn't last, but tough will last. Whatsoever you face will soon be over, and you will definitely smile again. My name remains Xavier Udo. Have a good evening. Rest.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to